Hello, church family. This is Whit again, wanting to touch base with you, to see how you're doing this week. My prayer is that you're doing well. There's been a lot going on, so many things in our country, on top of the COVID virus, and I thought I'd just take a moment and remind you of something that I think uh, can help during these times to give us a better vision, a better focus about how we look at the things that go on in our world. And I believe the answer and the solution is found in Scripture. It's always found in Scripture, but especially as we deal with the things that our nation has been dealing with, I'm reminded of the words of the Apostle Paul, where he ends chapter 12 of First Corinthians by saying, I will show you the most excellent way. And I believe it's the way that we need to view all things. It's the lens that we need to view all things through. And that lens was brought to us in the gospel. That lens is Jesus. That lens is his love, his perfect agape love. And so I want to take a moment and just remind you of what Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 13. He says, if I speak in the tongues of men or angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy and it does not boast. It's not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Look at what it says. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. Love never fails. Those are three of the most powerful words in all of humanity. Love never fails. And I think that's what our world needs to see. We need to start looking through the eyes of his love at one another. Then all of the things and all the flaws and everything falls away. And I love what Paul continues to say, and I believe that he is speaking about love when he says these things. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be still. Where there is knowledge, it'll pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, or other versions say when perfection comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. When he's speaking about the prophecy ceasing, these things that we know in part, and when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. I believe he's not talking about Scripture or the completion of Scripture or any of those things. I believe that he's talking about what he has been talking about in this passage, that he's been talking about love. When we live in perfect love, when we are complete in love, then we see not just people, but even ourselves through the eyes of our God. Instead of thinking like a child, we become men, or we become whole adults when we can look through the lens of love, and we put the childish things when we saw in part behind us. Sometimes we see only a reflection as in a mirror, but when we love perfectly, then we see more clearly. We see face to face. Paul says three of the most powerful words: love never fails. My brothers and sisters, if we have this love, it'll change the world. We can change the world if people see that love in us. And Father, if there's anything that our world needs right now, it's to see the love of God and to see each other through His eyes. May you be blessed and protected during these times. We again look forward to the time when we'll all be able to be together. And as you grow in the knowledge of this kind of love, may you be a witness of God's love to those around you. Have a blessed rest of your week.